Hello Normans, and welcome back to this week's Norman News. I'm Grace Suomi.
And I'm Natalie Gold. Stay tuned for news on the student body election results.
And more on what baking can do to improve your mental health. Around the school in 15 minutes,
this is the Norman News.
Hello Normans. The student body election results are now out, and we are so excited to start the new school year with a promising group of student leaders. Here are the results for your head row cabinet for the 2022-2023 school year. Your student body president, Ashley Jarabji, your student body vice president, Layla Abrashami, your student board member, Alex Bodden, your student secretary, Sophia Manabi, and finally your student body treasurer, Camille Kaiserman. We look forward to an amazing school year. Now to Natalie with health.
Thanks, Grace. Long COVID is the lasting effect of COVID-19 symptoms that can last anywhere from a week to multiple months after one is infected with COVID-19. Long-lasting COVID can affect people who had the mildest or even non-coronavirus symptoms. Some symptoms of lasting COVID include shortness of breath, fatigue, heart palpitations, chest pain, a cough, headache, and much more. People who had a major illness accompanied with COVID over time may experience autoimmune conditions or multi-organ effects. Now to Eden with World News.
Thanks, Natalie. The war between Russia and Ukraine still rages on today, even 2.5 months after it began. Against all odds, Russia is struggling to make gains in its combat operation in the east of Ukraine amid poor morale and logistical challenges. Ukraine has been successful in protecting its ground and has defended itself very well against Russian invasions, thanks to its brave military soldiers. Just days ago, a Russian rocket attack destroyed an airport runway in Odessa, Ukraine's third largest city. On that same day, however, actress Angelina Jolie arrived in Ukraine to meet with children affected by the war. Jolie met with orphaned and displaced children, including several who were forced to evacuate as Russia continued its attack. Jolie also spent time with the doctors and volunteers who are caring for the children. Our thoughts are with all the children and citizens of Ukraine. That's all World News for today. Now to Nikki with National News.
Thanks, Eden. Alabama inmate and jailmate have gone missing. Casey Cole is being held for murder with his jailmate, Vicky White. They are offering a $10,000 reward to anyone who sees or finds the man first. Sources say he was arrested for murder and is a danger to the people. Vicky White claimed he had a doctor's appointment which was approved by the officers. Sooner or later, they were both gone. It took the police officers 6 hours to figure out the man was missing. Sources say he has stolen a vehicle and is on the loose. Now to Nora with the local news.
Thanks, Nikki. The 33-year-old RideOn on North Bedford Drive has officially closed on March 21st. This closure marks the 63rd announced Rite Aid stores that have closed this year since the company has lost $36 million. People should keep in mind that the Rite Aid on Cannon is still open and available for any customers. Mayor Lily Bossy said that she remembered the drugstore as a staple in our hometown. Now to Deborah with entertainment.
Thanks, Nora. The 2022 Met Gala, occurring on May 2nd, with the theme being In America, an anthology of fashion, will be the first to continue the tradition of holding the gala on the first Monday of May since post-pandemic. This upcoming event, held at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City, celebrates the aging of American style, while it's also a way to raise money for the Costume Institute, an exhibit in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. The co-hosts this year who will be funding the event include Regina King, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Lin-Manuel Miranda, who will work
working side by side with the host Anna Wintour since 1995. Since 1995, Anna Wintour has been the head of the Met Gala since she is known for influencing the cover of magazine Vogue to what we know it as today. Natalie with this week's movie review.
Thanks, Deborah. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness stars Benedict Cumberbatch and Elizabeth Olsen. Benedict Cumberbatch starred in Power of the Dog and he has a recurring role of Doctor Strange in many Avengers films and standalone films. Elizabeth Olsen plays Wanda Maximoff in the Marvel franchise. This movie is being directed by Sam Raimi, who has previously directed Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man films and has also produced The Crawl and the show Spartacus. In Multiverse of Madness, Dr. Stephen Strange deals with the repercussions of a forbidden spell that he has cast. This spell opened up a doorways to the multiverse. New seemingly unstoppable threats emerge, and Strange turns to Wanda Maximoff for help. Will Doctor Strange be able to fix his mistake with the help of new and old allies?
Every night, I dream the same dream. And then... the nightmare begins. I did what I had to do to protect our world.
You cannot control everything, Strange. You opened the doorway between universes, and we don't know who or what will walk through it.
Wanda, what do you know about the multiverse?
Viz had his theories. He believed it was dangerous.
He was right.
I'm sorry, Stephen. Your desecration of reality will not go unpunished.
We should tell him the truth.
Things just got out of hand.
You break the rules. Look out! And become a hero. I do it, I become the enemy. It doesn't seem fair.
Thank you so much, Natalie. Doctor Strange looks amazing, and I cannot wait to go check it out.
Get your tickets for Doctor Strange today.
Speaking of which, we brought home the gold medal in the Skills USA Broadcast News competition, and we are off to Atlanta in June.
One of our own culinary students also got gold in the baking competition.
Congratulations to all of our winners. We cannot wait to meet up in the competition.
Now let's send it to Matthew with gaming.
Persona 4 is a turn-based RPG known for its great writing and gameplay. The game takes place in the small town of Inaba, a place you're visiting for the entirety of the game. As you arrive to a horrifying murder takes place, in which the victim is hung from telephone poles. While in Inaba, you discover the Midnight Channel, and the world within the TVs. In this separate reality, shadows roam the Twisted Realm. For context, a shadow is the psychic imprint of every denied feeling a person has, and the parts of yourself that you wish didn't exist. This is where turn-based elements come into play. Depending on who gets the jump on who in the overworld, will be able to attack the other first, after which fairly basic RPG gameplay initiates. The main difference from other games is the absolute banger of a soundtrack that you are blessed with when in combat, keeping the battles animated and alive. This is usually where you will gather party members, as you help them face their shadows and receive their personas, the complete form of a person's psychology, both good and bad, adding them to your party. You will then explore the town, both in and out of the TV, to find and stop the killer. Now, that all sounds very intense, which I agree, it is. But what's so nice about this game is it is not the destination, but the journey. Outside of combat, you get to explore the town and interact with its residents, where you'll increase your stats, expression, diligence, etc. through different activities. Depending on who you get close to, you may unlock new personas, or more importantly, just help someone out. This is where I'll need to discuss the 4 core themes of this game, those being happiness, distraction, sickness, and truth. The plot constantly attempts to cloud your judgment as to who the real killer can be, with rumors running every inch of Inaba. Most characters face sickness, both literal and spiritual, and even more, this game has genuinely funny moments and is lighthearted during most of the game. This makes it so that when the game is actually serious, you really feel it. And in a meta sense, it is a happy distraction from the constant danger that plagues the overall plot. However, if you let your judgment cloud you, it can lead to getting the wrong perp, and the bad ending of the game, with the true ending only occurring when you are able to see the objective truth unclouded by previous misconception. But in my opinion, the best part of the story is the characters, and I'll only be going over some of the characters as to prevent the Norman News from becoming Matthew's Game Reviews. But here are some quick summaries of the main party's character struggles. Yosuke. He struggles with his desire to be taken seriously as a person, his overwhelming boredom of living in a small town, and dealing with the death of someone he was in love with. Chie. Someone who deals with a large amount of self-esteem issues, notably having most of her esteem being built on others' suffering. Yukiko faces the idea that all of her decisions have been made for her, and that she has no say in her own accomplishments. Kanji has the inability to have people understand him on any level, from his hobbies to his attraction, to even just the image of being a guy. Rize, a former pop celebrity, now needing to confront obsessive fans, former coworkers, and fundamental identity crises of who she is. Teddy, a sentient shadow who has to face the idea that at the center of his being, there is nothing. He is hollow and has no real emotions. Naoto feels like a tool that is thrown away the moment they're done solving a case, while also seeing themselves as not fitting into society. And this is just the party members. I haven't even started going in on the side characters, or just gone in depth, but you get the point. This game tackles some very important issues, and more importantly, handles those issues competently. Every character has what is known as a social link, a collection of interactions that allow you to help a person through their problems, and be rewarded with stronger personas. All of these characters have to face dark truths about themselves, and only by overcoming those truths can they achieve genuine meaning in their lives. Now, why am I talking about this game now of all times? With what's been happening in Ukraine, I think messages about facing uncomfortable truths are important. Every character in this game is only able to grow and find happiness through facing uncomfortable truth and ignoring distractions. The intense idea of misinformation is something that should also be discussed now. More than ever, misinformation spreads like a sickness, and finding out what to believe in is a Herculean task, especially with all the hardships life has been throwing at us, like the pandemic and now Russia's attack almost immediately after. It's important to face what's happening and stay informed. Don't hide in the shadows and ignore what's happening. Face the truth and keep going. Only then will you be able to do genuine good for yourself and others. Stay informed and stay strong, everyone. Now let's send it to Jasmine with baking.
Say that baking is great for stress relief and improving mental health. During the pandemic, many people got into baking as an activity to do while in quarantine. People all over have talked about how baking has helped their mental health. After researching about this, I found that it is true. Psychologists say that being in the kitchen and baking reduces stress and anxiety. Studies show that baking can be therapeutic at times and very calming. It is also a productive activity that makes many people feel good while keeping busy. Baking is a great distraction that uses all your senses: touch, smell, and taste. If you need an outlet for stress and anxiety, baking can be a great way to do so. Now let's send it to Nikki with music.
New Future releases thanks to Jasmine. Just a few days ago, Future released his new album called I Never Liked You. I personally listened to it and just think that it's okay. I think some songs are good, but I felt that Future has done much better in other songs, such as he's featured in Drake's album Certified Lover Boy. I personally feel that Future is one that made this album good. Future made multiple songs on Drake's album, such as his most popular one, Way Too Sexy. I asked multiple other students that love music, and they also said they didn't really love it. This is good, but nothing special. Listen to it and let me know what you think. Now to Julia with What the Weather.
Thanks, Maya. This is the week of May 1st to May 7th. Today, expect a high of 68 during the day and a low of 58 at night. Tomorrow and Wednesday, we will see partly cloudy skies with a high of 68 on Tuesday and 71 on Wednesday. Get ready for sunny skies later this week with temperature increases in the high 70s. Now let's send it back to the desk.
Thank you so much, Julia, and thank you for tuning in to this week's Norman News. I'm Grace Suomi.
And I'm Natalie Gold. We will see you next week. I was on my phone.